Welcome to a Healthy Living video blog at workoutmaster.com. This is Ruben.
And this is Aram.
Today we're going to talk about Candida overgrowth, or overall about fungal infections and fungal overgrowth. So let's say it's so important.
Yes, several people have sent us a few emails with asking us how we treat Candida. And the fact of the matter is that we don't treat it. That's how we treat it.
And it's not our business. If you want to be treated, you go to doctors. They treat you. We work on balancing your body.
Okay, good point. And that's exactly what we try to do, yes, what we try to accomplish. But the fact of the matter is that oftentimes, in order to treat Candida, the best thing to do sometimes is not to piss off the fungus. And the reason why, because we know that Candida, for the most part, is that fungus that resides in the GI tract and in the mucosa of the GI tract. And oftentimes what is going to happen is that it's going to grow at a faster or slower rate according to your lifestyle. So a person that has been under the influence or using a lot of antibiotics for whatever reason, is more likely that the growth of the Candida is going to be rampant in their bodies, and especially more notice use oftentimes for females because they will develop a lot of yeast infections. So Candida, what happens is that oftentimes feeds itself, well, let me rephrase that. Candida all the time pretty much feeds on sugar. So the alternative approach to actually eliminating Candida is always been to follow a diet that completely restricts the intake of any form of sugar that would feed the Candida in order to starve it to death and therefore, eliminate it. But the fact of the matter that at the same time that you actually eliminated all that sugar or all that fructose, glucose, whatever it might be in the body, it's going to have an effect on your body as well, because it can actually render you less energetic than you should be. And that's when the Candida can have an extra energy to actually overcome you and cause all the side effects that oftentimes are manifested when people talk about Candida. They read the symptoms and they can pretty much pinpoint every single one of them as that is happening in their bodies.
Well, my take is on the fungal infection altogether. We have to realize that the fungus is all over the planet. Basically, in my opinion, fungus basically rules this planet. We think that we are top species, but believe it or not, I think fungus and all variety of different fungus is basically what's ruled this planet. At some point, the fungus will take over your body. That's just a fact. Now, how long until it will take over? It will be entirely up to you. Now, there's a reason why people have problems with the fungal infections is because their body cannot resist the fungal attacks. You almost have to think of it, it is a war out there. It might be a silent war, but it is a war. The minute somebody feels the weakness, they will take you over, and it's just going to take a little bit of time. So when we talk about modern disease, a lot of times it's proliferation of bacteria into your body. So small cells, small organisms start infiltrating your body and start taking a hold of your body, eventually taking it over, and that's when they call you dead. And that's mean they won, you lost. So anytime that you have this kind of things happening with your body, we have to understand something. The bacteria lives within your body. There's nothing you can do about it. You have a Candida living in your body. There's all kinds of different bacteria live in your body. Now, it can be a symbiotic relationship. A symbiotic relationship means where you get something out of bacteria, which is definitely something for us there. We might not understand what there is for us, but there's definitely something for us. Now, there's something there for bacteria too. I don't know what it is, protection, good home, whatever it is. There's something for the bacteria. So if it's a symbiotic relationship, then we coexist well. Anytime you have an overgrowth of anything, that generally means that they can actually decide that they can take you over a period of time. And guess what? That should give you an idea that your health is not operating to its capacity. So for me, anytime the bacteria takes over, it's an understanding that you're probably not doing something right. And as Ruben mentioned, there's an important part of, let's say, what we studied at some point was, let's say, Doug Kaufman's ideas about fungal link and how about you're going to get rid of the sugar so you starve off the Candida. Right now, we're more starting to understand and leaning towards understanding that it's not necessarily very good. It actually might be very dangerous to starve off the bacteria and fungus, because if you do so, you basically make the fungus more resilient and it actually moves and starts fighting. It's almost like you organize the resistance on you know, urban warfare with the resistant little cells running around your body. And as you know from like watching the news, it's very hard to suppress. It's like a terrorism in a way. Yeah, you have a little terrorist running through your body and creating like an inflammation here, inflammation there. And so in a way, it is a very complex question. Now, what we're leaning towards is if you actually provide the sugar for your body to run specifically just the way it needs to, but before it reaches the bacteria and feeds them off, then you're accomplishing something very important. You're actually getting your body stronger, yet you're making the enemy to stay at bay. And that is very important.
And keep them in place, which is critical, because the last thing you want to do, as Aram well knows, you know, is that once you start, you know, fighting off any type of fungus, if the location where they are is actually hospitable for them, they will remain there. If you actually make it difficult for them, before they die or in the process of dying, they're gonna move house. And if they move house, they're gonna look for those sources in your body where this is stored glycogen, where this is stored sugar. Don't forget that they feed on sugar mainly. So where is that? It could be your liver and it could be your blood. So once it goes into the circulatory system, that infection that you have of fungus, it will become systemic. That means that it goes through your whole body, as opposed to you have it located to one specific part of your GI tract. So you have to be very careful. And one thing that I was told by Paul Check a long time ago is that when you go for them, you have to go full on. You don't piss them off. You don't push them, you don't threaten them. You either kill them or you don't. So all these people that like to play around with doing all these cleanses and all this stuff, I think it's very good, but it's a double-edged sword. It could be very dangerous at the same time because you can piss them off. They'll move out of there where they are residing right now, and they go to another part that it might be more difficult for you to attack them later, or where they could be causing more traumatized, you know, traumatize your system even further because it's much harder for you to reach them.
Yeah, and I don't think Ruben and I meant to say that it is the only way.
Oh, no.
I think what we're trying to do with this particular episode to start maybe either a conversation or start a thought process that hopefully will lead you to somewhere that you would want to be, and hopefully you will want to be healthy. So by no means we're saying, let's say, Doc Kaufman is wrong and we're right. By no means, no. We are free-thinking individuals. We try to get the information, process the information, and basically take whatever makes sense to us at this particular moment. Now, it might make no sense to you at this particular moment. You might listen to this in 5 years and say, wow, that was kind of interesting. Whatever time it is that it might actually make some sense to you, you might actually start finding interesting information when you do research on it. Did you want to add anything?
And if nothing else, to give you a different perspective of what you might be able to read out there that might not be perhaps in direct, you know, of your opinion right now. So you have something else that you can think of when it comes to your own case of Candida and how you want to approach it. So you have a little bit more of information, and then what you decide is entirely up to you.
Thank you very much for watching, guys. You remember, your future looks better already. Until the next time.